The sun had barely risen over the sleepy town of Ape, nestled deep in the outskirts of Lagos. The morning mist still clung to the red clay roads, and roosters crowed lazily in the distance. But in a narrow alley behind Mama Ayabo's compound, a girl moved like a whisper. Her name was Nkiru. To the neighbors, Nkiru was just another quiet housemaid.
Shy.
Soft-spoken. She came from a small village in Imo State, brought by one of Mama Ayabo's cousins to help with chores. Her short frame and tired eyes often drew pity, and she rarely spoke unless spoken to. She always carried a small woven basket with her, claiming it was for laundry. No one asked questions. In Ape, people kept to themselves. But strange things began to happen after Nkiru arrived. It started with the whispers. The young women in the compound, Bola, Cynthia, and Miriam, complained of misplaced panties. At first, they thought it was just the wind, or maybe a child playing tricks. Then the patterns emerged. Only the most expensive ones went missing.
Silk. Lace.
The kind that clung to the body like a second skin. Miriam once said in jest, "Maybe we've got a panty ghost." They all laughed. And Kira did too. A small, tight-lipped smile that didn't reach her eyes. At night, Nkiru never slept in the maids' quarters. She told Mama Ayabo she preferred the veranda. "Too hot inside," she said. No one pressed further. But one night, Bola couldn't sleep. She stepped out to get water from the clay pot near the backyard and froze. There, in the pale glow of the moon, was Nkiru, kneeling on the ground, barefoot, with a line of panties arranged in a circle around her. Her face was lit by a small oil lamp, her hands trembling as she whispered in Igbo, words Bola didn't understand. Some panties were old, others looked freshly stolen. Inside the circle sat a cracked calabash, filled with a strange dark liquid and herbs that gave off a sour, pungent smell. Bola gasped, and Kira's eyes shot up. But she didn't panic. She merely smiled, this time fully, and said, "I was hoping you'd see." Bola ran back into the house, heart pounding like a talking drum. But by morning, she was quiet.
Distant.
She claimed she had a fever and didn't remember anything from the night before. And from that day, she became different, withdrawn.
Pale.
Others noticed, but no one connected the dots. No one except Cynthia. And Cynthia had a plan. She started watching Kiru closely, marking her movements, hiding a small camera in her window. She was going to expose her. But what she found in that footage, the rituals, the hair, the whispering to shadows, was something she was not ready for. Nkiru wasn't just stealing underwear. She was feeding something. Cynthia didn't sleep the night she watched the footage. Her hands trembled as she rewatched the grainy video over and over again. There was Nkiru in the dead of night, crouched in the same backyard, whispering incantations with lips that moved too fast to follow. The panties weren't just laid in a circle this time. They were knotted together, forming a noose-like shape, swinging gently over the calabash. But that wasn't what made Cynthia's blood run cold. It was what appeared behind Nkiru. A shadow, long and crooked, with limbs too thin, too wrong to be human, crawled toward her. And as she chanted louder, it slithered into the circle, its fingers brushing the noose of undergarments. Kiru didn't flinch. She just smiled, eyes glowing faintly in the darkness. She wanted it there. That morning, Cynthia packed her things and ran to the church, shaking. Pastor Cunnell listened patiently, though his eyes betrayed a flicker of fear. "Are you sure this is not just spiritual attack?" he asked gently. But when she showed him the footage, his face drained of color. He crossed himself, even though he wasn't Catholic. "She is not just a girl," he whispered. "This is an Obanj spirit. And she is using feminine items, intimate ones, to bind the souls of the owners. They call it Ofo Akoro, a forbidden ritual. It feeds off beauty, vanity, and desire." Pastor Cunnell gave Cynthia holy oil and prayer beads. "Tell the other girls. Don't confront her. Just leave. That thing is older than this land." But Cynthia was already too late. That night, Miriam disappeared. vanished from her room without a trace. Her door was locked from the inside, windows shut. All that remained on her bed was her favorite lace underwear, folded neatly beside the cracked calabash. Screams echoed through the compound. Mama Ayabo fainted. The police came, asked questions, and left with no answers. But Nkiru? She sat on the veranda, basket on her lap, humming an old lullaby that no one recognized. Cynthia confronted her the next evening. "You're not just a maid," she said, voice trembling. "You're a monster." Nkiru looked up slowly. "A monster?" she echoed.
No.
"I'm a collector. They give me what I need without knowing. All of them. Do you want to know where Miriam is?" Cynthia backed away. But Nkiru rose, stepped closer, and whispered, "She's right here, and she's very happy." That night, the compound caught fire. Some say it was electrical. Others say it was spiritual warfare. But the only body never found was Nkiru's. Weeks later, another girl showed up in a neighboring town. Quiet, small, from Imo State. She carried a basket, claimed she was just looking for work. And once again, underwear began to disappear. So now, ask yourself, do you really know who's washing your clothes? And if your favorite pair suddenly goes missing, pray it wasn't her.